Welcome to the Practice Podcast, a show created by lawyers to help lawyers in life and business without all the complicated lawyer language. Let's welcome Bast Amron founders and your hosts, Jeff Bast and Brett Amron.
Happy anniversary to us. All right.
Wow. That's
Hi, Brett.
terrible. Can we start that over?
Welcome to the Practice Podcast.
Welcome.
Today, we are celebrating, principally at our marketing director's suggestion, we are celebrating, shout out to May Lynn. We do whatever she tells us to do. We're celebrating 5 years of the Practice Podcast. And actually, we've been recording for a little longer than 5 years. Actually, probably
Close to 6, probably.
close to 6, because we started recording in the fall of 2019.
Yeah, we were banking some.
Maybe it was October or so. We had about 10
Yeah.
by January or February, and we were about to release in March.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic. But before we go to the practice side, I want to ask you a question, Brett, as I often do. By the way, people hear me asking you questions on the Practice Podcast.
Yeah,
What they don't know is that people are asking you questions all the time. Everyone is in Brett's office and in his face and in his space, just peppering him with questions as if he was having a press conference. All the time, people with microphones in Brett's.
Oh, yes.
Not microphones, but people asking your questions. So my question today to you is,
Yes, I'm sure.
it's hard to come up with questions for you because
Yes.
I feel like we know so much about you. But what's a place that changed you and how? A place that changed you.
Hey.
That's a hard one, right?
Where did you get that from?
It's a list of questions. You want me
Did
to
you
give you another one?
ChatGPT that?
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
I
of
did,
course
'cause
you did.
I have a list
What-
of questions that I've
what does
asked
that
you and
mean?
I've been marking them off. But now I'm at a point where I stopped tracking them and I don't remember what I've asked. So a place. All right. How about a place that has impacted you? I know there are many. I can answer this for you.
What would you say?
I would say the Grand Canyon, as an example.
Yes.
I would say probably certain places in Maine.
I mean,
I
listen,
don't
there's so many places, right?
Right.
So,
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
could
Pick
you
a place
say
that has impacted you?
Could you say University of Florida
Yeah.
changed me, right?
Sure.
Like going there
Gainesville.
and growing
Yeah.
in Gainesville and growing,
Yeah,
starting at
I
18
agree.
and finishing at 21. Did Miami, I mean, Miami changed me tremendously, not in
Not in a good
small,
way.
No. Well, in some ways, maybe, but not in no small measure to the fact that when I moved here and I went to law school, University of Miami, and I met the woman who would ultimately become my wife. That changed
Can we
my
say
life.
her name?
I don't think she wants me to. I haven't precluded specifically.
I'm not bound by that. Hi,
from naming
Lauren.
her. Ouch. There's so many places, but then you start talking about places I've been and traveled to and the impacts that those have had on me. Iceland,
Tell me about it.
Peru,
Tell the listener.
Patagonia, Base Camp Everest in
Oh, yeah. I
Himalayas,
forgot
like
about
that.
Everest. I
Yeah.
mean, come on.
Look, they've all...
How did Everest
Sure.
change you?
How did it change me? I don't know. I mean, one thing is, which you see when you go to these places and you trek through the mountains and the valleys, we are so small and insignificant on this planet. We just are so small and
We
insignificant.
humans,
Yeah. Nature is undefeated, without question.
the planet
Nature is
will be
undefeated.
here. Yeah. When
Right.
we talk about climate change, it'll be here.
And what I see typically when I travel to these countries, and you see people, the things that they do to survive is so impressive, and how they've survived is just so impressive. And the way that they live their lives is so different than the way we live our lives. I think you realize how insignificant a lot of what we worry about and what we do, it's just very insignificant, how
Yeah.
insignificant that is. So
Yes.
this is a long-winded answer. The way I take it, and everywhere I go, no matter what I do, I think changes you in some way.
Yeah.
Some more dramatic than others. How
I
about
think-
you, Mr.
I
Bass?
think
I
you
mean,
can-
this place has changed me, and,
Yeah.
and all the places I've
New
worked
office, right.
have
Yeah.
changed me,
I think
right?
You
I
can
mean,
answer it in a lot of different ways. You
Yeah.
could say something like, as you were talking, I could say the ocean. For you,
Yeah.
you could say the mountain and mountains in general.
Sure.
Definitely being in the ocean. I've always loved the ocean, but
Mhm.
as a swimmer, just being there has changed me. I guess my answer would probably be New York, like being there for law school, like living in New York. First of all, I'd say if I can make it there, I can make it anywhere.
Oh, wow.
I had to throw that in there. No,
Ouch.
no, just being in the city, having that experience. Like to me, I always say it was 3 years in New York and I happened to be in law school. That's how I kind of looked at it. And it was truly amazing. It taught me, had I not gone away to law school, I probably would have lived my whole life in Florida. And that would have been, I did. And I love Florida.
Amazing. Because
by the way, I love Florida. I love where we live. I do. I truly do. We live in paradise. I've said it 1,000 times and I will say it 1,000 more. But living in New York is something I think everyone should do, like at some point in their lives. There's nowhere like it. Even just the way I travel, the way I walk is different from living in New York. I'm always with purpose. Always keep moving, walk with purpose, be aware of your surroundings. I remember in the beginning, like the first few times in New York, being like intimidated, like just on the street. If you slow traffic down on the street, when people are walking, you get run over.
Yeah. And there's a perception that the people there are rude.
But they're not.
They're not. They're moving with purpose.
Yeah.
And whereas opposed to here,
right. They're just
the people are rude.
Well, I forget, I'm drawing a blank on her name, has a show called Pretend It's a City. The whole idea of in New York, just pretend it's a city. Pretend like you're here, you're sharing this space with other people. That's what I always feel like. Just acknowledge that you're not the only one on this street or in this elevator or wherever it is. We're sharing space together. Anyway, so
I like that answer. Well done.
Yeah.
Happy 5th anniversary of this podcast.
Happy 5th anniversary. So we always get asked, like, why do you do this? I got asked the question today.
Why? I always get do you do that? Do you do a podcast? That's what I always get, not why.
What's the answer? Why do you do a podcast?
Well, for me,
why'd you start it?
It is an opportunity to be in a room and speak to Jeff Bast, which I will take.
That's why I do it.
I will take. That's why I will take that up every day.
Oh,
but I think the reason why, and remember, I mean, initially when we started this thing, it was you and I talking about different issues. And then we quickly realized that maybe that is going to grow old. And we thought it'd be a good idea to use this platform to bring in and talk to people about their specific journey to where they got to. Not necessarily talking about the law and talking about that, but talking about people and their journey to wherever they are at that moment in life, in their life, and the experiences they've had. And I think we've had some really interesting material, interesting recordings, but it gave us an opportunity to meet people too and learn more about people. Because I think you and I are both very curious. I heard this several years ago, this Walt Whitman saying, which is, be curious, not judgmental. It's something I've repeated a lot. And I love the idea. And this podcast helps us with that, which is being curious and just asking people questions and learning more about people, about industries we don't know about different walks of life. It's just great to talk to people and meet people.
I agree. I am genuinely curious about people's stories. What's amazing is that we've had people on, many that we've known for years, and we learn so much about them because when do you sit and ask with a friend or someone you know work-wise about their origin story, where they're from, how they become a lawyer, whatever it is, how they start their business, what made them start their business. I just want to know everyone's story. I think it's amazing, like how we all arrived here. It's truly remarkable. I want to hear this guy's story, pointing at Nelson. I put in on ChatGPT to ask about the Practice podcast, and it said, here's what I found about the Practice. It said, 1, entirely in the top 10% globally across major platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube. 2, Apple Podcast rating. It's rated 5.0 based on 26 review. And 3, this one's ours, a Facebook post by us mentions 5650 downloads. I think that's from a few years ago. But it does say that we have very strong listener engagement, high relative reach, that our performance for a niche podcast, because we are a niche podcast, specialized, that we have really good listenership and traction. So then I asked, what are the top episodes? And it said, here are some of the most notable and highly regarded. Episode 100. It says fan favorite and milestone episodes. Episode 100, which was reflecting on 100 episodes. And episode 160, stories from a legal legend, Robert Josephsberg. That was an awesome one. As an example, he talked about representing Jim Morrison. And I remember Bob, he tried to ascribe his success to luck. That's just, the guy's so humble that he was just lucky that he got this call or that call. And I think that was pure humility on his part. So many people mentored him and guided him and trusted him with their lives, basically. So then standout special episodes, it references the 2 panels, episodes 177 and 178, about innovation through emotional intelligence and building an intelligence-driven organizational culture. And then last thing I'll say is it says recent audience favorites. Episode 167, Building a Global Technology Hub with Melissa Medina. Episode 174, Job Interview Tips. That's you and I talking about interviews. And 176, Does Your Firm Have Revenue Enablers? So
Jennifer Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. Good stuff. It's really been a lot of fun. Like I enjoyed it. It is a lot of work.
Well, it's a lot of work for our team. We want to thank our team.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
We have obviously Nelson sitting here, who's our MacGyver, does everything for us. We have Maylin. She's the one that not makes us, but like really pushes us forward. And when we're so busy, she really is the one that says, no, you guys got to keep this going.
Yeah. Well, she manages the editor. She's responsible for releasing the episode. Yeah. She promotes them on social media.
And she gets us in here and does this and forces us to do it, which is good because there's times when we're just so busy and we just...
You wouldn't have done it today.
No, that's fine.
You were kind of like, when you're just busy,
we're just so busy.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But when we get in this room, we close the door and we start the podcast.
Exactly.
It's great. And also Christina as well, scheduling everything, working on the marketing as well, and helping us all out.
Right. Coordinating with speakers, with the guests, coordinating our schedules. Like we would not have found this time to do this today. I don't think.
I don't know how she does it.
Christina. They all keep us in line, the whole team. It's a team effort.
That's not an easy thing to do as well. So we are very appreciative of our team. We're very appreciative of our listener. And we look forward to, let's just say, the next 5.
What?
For now.
That's what you're willing to commit to?
Well, we did 5, so let's do 5 more. And then,
Oh, 5 years. Oh, I was like 5 episodes. I was like,
episodes.
5 episodes? We're over 180 episodes. I'm like, he just wants to end at 185? That sounds like a good number.
No. Let's go back for a minute, right? When we talked about doing a podcast, you and I quickly said we don't want this to be like just talking about the law and talking about cases and talking about decisions and things like that because people can read that. Well, people can read about that
scholars,
stuff.
There's a lot of people
Speak for yourself.
Speak
for yourself. Right. I mean, if you're in your car, or you're, God forbid, exercising, listening to this, and actually staying awake, God bless. To us, that's not necessarily as interesting as it would be learning about somebody's journey, about something super interesting that maybe you didn't know about somebody you've known for a long time, things like that. And so that's what we try to do. I find it amazing when you put the mic in front of people. First of all, people who are super successful in their field, like you said, people you've known for a long time, when they come, they're super nervous about this if they've not done this a lot. And they're like, well, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to do? And our view is just a conversation about you. And I know for me, I'd be nervous about that too. Like, I don't like talking about myself. They get nervous. But then once Nelson does his countdown and we're on, it's just a conversation. It's just a flow. And it's great. And then when it's over, they're all of them. Every single one of them say, wow, that was great.
That was fun. Yeah. It's nice. It's a way for us to connect with our fellow humans. You were talking about how small we are on this planet. And I think that's probably the biggest reason I enjoy it. I really enjoy connecting. And I think you and I are both health conscious, and we know that some of the keys to health are nutrition, exercise, sleep, but also meaningful social connections. And this is a way for us to have meaningful social connections with people. And if I reached out to whatever, Bob Josephsberg, to use that example, and said, hey, Bob, would you come over to my office so we could just sit and chat for 30 minutes? He would go, first of all, who the hell are you? Who's Jeff Bast? Why are you bothering me?
No, everybody knows. Come on.
But it just would never happen. But having someone come over to record the podcast, I mean, we're just having a conversation, but we're doing it with microphones. It makes sense to me. In retrospect, it makes sense that people would enjoy it. I mean, we enjoy it. I realized also Maylin sent us the top podcasts.
Oh, yeah?
According to what she sent, it was episode 157, which is Fashion, Beauty, and Luxury Law.
Danielle Garneau.
That's right. See, I'm going to guess. These are hard. Some of these it's hard just from the title.
I'm not going to guess all of them, but I believe we are going to have Danielle back.
I heard
soon.
I heard that's happening. You don't need to guess anymore. From JD to EV, which was 146. Carlo,
is that Carlo?
Yeah. Yes, good job. Yeah. Condo boards need this expert's guidance, 137. Landing the right law firm job, 128. His firm tripled in size in just 5 years, 94. building a national service firm, 172, Three's Company, which is 131. This entrepreneur is building a new sector, 97.
Was Three's Company Diamond, Kaplan, and Ross?
It must have been.
Was that there?
Yeah.
Was that them?
I guess.
It broke the record for the largest number of guests at one time.
Yeah, this room is, our podcast studio is intimate. And so we had 6 people in here recording that one. That was fun. And this attorney takes down fraudsters. That's Stephanie Trabant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, lots of friends and lots of experts and just people that we've encountered in our careers and have been interested by. We have quite a few episodes coming up, quite a few guests coming up that I think are going to be really big hits. Some experts in AI, legal management, and some law firm, some legal legends and managing partners. And so I'm excited about where we're going with it.
I think we have some good plans in place and things that we're talking about, where to take this podcast over the next
millennium. What?
Millennium. Say 5 years.
5 more years?
Maybe.
Should we target a number of episodes? Does it matter?
It's a long time.
Doesn't really matter.
It's a long time to commit. 1 year at a time. How's that sound?
If you're listening to this, can you send us some topic ideas, some speaker ideas, suggestions?
And give us a 5-star review.
Yeah, do that first. Here's my order of priority.
Let's
first,
talk about that.
5-star review. Second, actual review. 5-star.
Actually, let's take a step back before the review. Subscribe. Yeah, good point. Then give the review.
Send the show to your friends. Put it in one of your chats.
Yeah.
Share the show.
And listen to us.
Leave us a review.
Yeah. Download.
Call us if you have some feedback.
Call
me.
Don't call me.
Operators are standing by.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear it. I know I've told this story that I remember one of our kids' friends said to me, you know what podcast I've been listening to? Yours. I was like, what?
Well, I know.
And I said, are you pre-law? And he was like, no, I'm engineering. But I always find something interesting.
Yeah.
And I know there's no way he just made that up.
No, he listens.
Yeah.
I know he listens.
And one other shout out, you know who I'm talking about, right?
I do. We don't need to give him a shout out. And then
what?
One other.
Danny Mateo.
There you go, Danny Mateo. I also one time at a conference bumped into a judge, now retired, not from this area, that used to sit here sometimes as a visiting judge. And he said, oh, so I was listening to one of your episodes. And I said, hold on, what? And he said, yeah, I was listening to one of your episodes of the podcast. And I said, you listen to our podcast? I was shocked. I was floored. It was awesome. What a cool thing.
Yeah, I love that. I hear it from people that I'm always surprised. And someone will say, oh, I heard you say this on your... I was like, what? Really? Yeah, the same thing as they go...
Say it as if it's like, right.
And then I have other people go, I had it... This happened. The reason we were talking about this morning is I was having coffee with a few people and one of the people said, oh, I heard you talk about this topic on your podcast. And someone else was like, wait, you have a podcast?
Right.
I'm like...
Take out your phone.
Right. I'm like, give me your phone.
Somebody did tell me, and I know I alluded to this during this episode, but somebody did tell me that they listen sometimes while they're exercising. And I said, oh, Lord.
Why?
How do you do that?
That's a good... I love to listen to podcasts.
I know, but anyway, yes. Well, listen anytime that suits you. Just listen, subscribe, give us 5-star reviews.
You could just put it on and go to sleep, and then wait on, and we'll get some listens while you're...
That is what will happen.
Thank you for coming. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for making it this far into the episode.
I don't know who you're talking to.
I'm talking to the listeners.
Oh, okay, good. Showing up, coming.
Thank you, yeah.
I don't know what they're doing.
That's the other thing about a podcast. You don't have to go to it. It will come to you.
Yeah, that's true.
We come to you, bringing you this
It's just what you want. When you open your phone, you want to see a picture of Jeff and Brett.
We probably should update the picture.
Somebody said something to me about the picture. My mother, she's like, you need a new picture.
That picture is...
My mother said
now I measure that picture. It's like 3 pairs of glasses to go for each of us.
I know. I
haven't had those glasses. I miss those glasses. They had the blue arms.
Yeah, the gray has slowly creeped up.
In our studio, we have a little, I guess a screensaver has an image of the podcast picture, so it pops up every once in a while. All right, thanks. This has been fun. Happy New Year. Happy anniversary. And Happy New Year. Happy everything. Wait, Nelson, don't cut us off. We haven't thanked you yet.
Yeah, we did.
So Nelson...
Let's thank him more because it's never enough.
Here's what I say about Nelson. First of all, he sits here so patiently while we just ramble on. Half the time he's trying to hold his laughter.
I'd say more than half the time.
He doesn't want us to be heard.
He walks out of here and he's like, gee, man.
He's holding his finger. He's got his finger hovering above the button right now.
Turn it off. Cut it off.
And he's just a good guy. This is a guy who's a model citizen who works his ass off and is constantly constantly learning.
But you know
Always.
what? He's
What?
only the second best runner in this office.
But it's the distant.
Now
it's
we're going to get.
distant
Are we
second. But
ever going to get him to speak
he
on the mic?
reads more.
though?
How many
That's the
books
question.
do you read in a year?
He's not gonna
I would
answer.
like to know.
Just put up
that
a hand.
answer. Put up some hand
Give
signals.
us a signal because he's not going to.
He's not going to give it to us, but I have
Dozens.
given him a book before to read.
Yeah.
And then like the next day or 2 days later, he'll like give it back. Yeah. I'm like, what? You didn't want to read it? He goes, no, I already did. I'm like, what? I don't even know when he does this because he reads, he runs, he's always learning, always studying, always improving. We need more you. We need more Nelsons in the world.
Yes, we do.
Nelson, thank you.
Thanks, Nelson. Appreciate you. Bye.
For more information on this show and other resources, visit fastamron.com and connect with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram @fastamron.